Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you're there? Or perhaps you've been in the middle of an important conversation and suddenly lost your train of thought. In a hyper-connected world where notifications compete for our attention every second, the ability to focus and remember seems to be slipping through our fingers like sand. I see it in myself, I hear about it from friends, and I'm willing to bet you've experienced it too. Today, we're diving into something that affects every single one of us, but rarely gets the thoughtful discussion it deserves: how to genuinely improve your memory and concentration. Not through miracle supplements or quick-fix solutions, but through evidence-backed approaches that acknowledge the complexity of our minds. What makes this conversation different is that we'll explore not just the what, but the why behind these techniques. By the end of our time together, you'll understand not only practical strategies you can implement today, but also the fascinating science of how your brain forms and retrieves memories. Some of what I'll share might challenge what you think you know about memory and focus, especially when we get to the counterintuitive findings about multitasking and digital devices. Let's begin with understanding what's actually happening when we struggle to remember or focus. Contrary to popular belief, most memory issues aren't about storage capacity. They're about attention and encoding. Your brain is constantly filtering an overwhelming amount of information, deciding what's worth remembering. When we say we have bad memory, what's often happening is that we never fully focused on the information in the first place. This is where the concept of mindful attention becomes crucial. Research from Neuroscience shows that when we fully engage with information, whether it's someone's name at a networking event or material we're studying, we create stronger neural pathways. Think of it like carving a deeper groove in your brain, making that memory easier to access later. The practical application is simple but powerful. When you need to remember something, pause and give it your complete attention for at least 8 to 10 seconds. Notice details, make connections to what you already know, and if possible, repeat it aloud. This small pause dramatically improves encoding and later recall. Beyond this fundamental principle of attention, sleep plays a far more vital role in memory consolidation than most people realize. During deep sleep, your brain isn't resting. It's actively processing the day's information, strengthening important connections, and pruning unnecessary ones. Studies consistently show that people who learn new information and then get adequate sleep remember significantly more than those who skip proper rest. This explains why pulling all-nighters for exams is counterproductive. You might be studying more, but your brain never gets the chance to solidify what you've learned. Instead, try studying important material right before bed, as this gives your brain optimal conditions for processing during sleep. The most effective approach combines spaced repetition, reviewing material at increasingly longer intervals, with pre-sleep review sessions. Now, let's talk about the physical aspect of memory and concentration that often gets overlooked. Your brain accounts for only 2% of your body weight, but consumes about 20% of your energy. Like any high-performance engine, it needs quality fuel and maintenance. Research from the Harvard Medical School has found that certain foods specifically support brain function: fatty fish rich in omega-3s, blueberries with their antioxidants, turmeric with anti-inflammatory properties, and even dark chocolate in moderation. Regular physical exercise might be even more important than diet. When you exercise, your body increases blood flow to the brain and releases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which acts like fertilizer for growing new neural connections. Studies show that even a 30-minute brisk walk before a learning session can improve memory formation by up to 20%. I've seen these principles transform not just my own cognitive abilities, but those of countless others I've worked with. Before we continue with more advanced techniques, I want to take a moment to say that if you're finding this information valuable, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. Each week, we explore topics like this that affect our daily lives, but rarely get the nuanced discussion they deserve. When you subscribe, you're not just supporting the channel, you're joining a community of people committed to understanding the deeper workings of our minds and bodies. Now, let's tackle one of the most damaging myths about productivity and focus: multitasking. Many of us pride ourselves on being great multitaskers, but neuroscience tells a different story. What we call multitasking is actually task switching, and it comes with a steep cognitive cost. Each time you switch between tasks, your brain needs time to reorient, sometimes up to 23 minutes to fully regain deep focus after an interruption. This constant switching depletes a limited resource called attention residue. Think of it like tiny pieces of your focus getting left behind with each switch. Over time, this leads to mental fatigue and dramatically reduced performance. Studies from Stanford University found that heavy multitaskers actually perform worse on cognitive tasks than those who focus on one thing at a time. The solution? Time blocking and deep work periods. Try setting aside chunks of 60 to 90 minutes for focused work on a single task, with all potential distractions eliminated. After each deep work session, take a true break, not checking email or social media, but something that allows your brain to genuinely rest, like a short walk or brief meditation. This approach aligns with how our brains naturally work in cycles of focus and recovery. Speaking of recovery, let's address the elephant in the room: our relationship with digital devices. Our phones and computers aren't inherently problematic, but the way we use them often is. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes of waking life. Each check fragments our attention and makes it harder to maintain the deep focus necessary for memory formation. Try this experiment. For 1 week, use a parking lot for your phone during focused work or important conversations. Simply having the phone in another room, not just face down nearby, has been shown to significantly improve cognitive performance. Your brain knows the phone is a portal to infinite potential distractions, and its mere presence requires mental resources to resist checking it. Another powerful technique combines ancient wisdom with modern science: memory palaces, also known as the method of loci. This spatial memory technique has been used since ancient Greek and Roman times and recently gained popularity through memory championship competitors. The concept is simple but profound. Your brain is exceptionally good at remembering spatial information and locations. To use this technique, visualize a familiar place, your home, workplace, or a route you regularly walk. Mentally place the information you want to remember at specific locations along this path. When you need to recall the information, simply walk through your memory palace, retrieving each item where you placed it. This works because it transforms abstract information into spatial relationships, which our brains evolved to track expertly. For daily memory challenges like remembering names, the key is creating meaningful associations. When meeting someone new, connect their name to something distinctive about them or someone you already know. For example, if you meet Sarah who works in finance, you might picture her sitting on a sofa, similar to Sarah, counting money. These visual associations, especially when they involve movement or humor, create stronger memory traces than simply repeating the name. What's fascinating about all these techniques is that they're not just helping your memory today, they're building cognitive reserve for the future. Research on neuroplasticity shows that actively engaging in memory and attention exercises throughout life builds resilience against age-related cognitive decline. Think of it as compound interest for your brain. Small daily investments yield significant returns over time. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize that improving memory and concentration isn't about transforming into a superhuman overnight. It's about understanding the natural workings of your mind and aligning your habits with them rather than fighting against them. The most effective approach combines proper attention during encoding, adequate sleep for consolidation, physical well-being through diet and exercise, elimination of multitasking, mindful technology use, and strategic memory techniques. Remember, your brain wants to remember what matters. Your job is to give it the right conditions to do so. If you found value in today's discussion, please take a moment to like this video and share your own experiences with memory and concentration in the comments below. What techniques have worked for you? What challenges do you still face? Your insights might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to join our growing community of people interested in understanding the deeper aspects of how our minds work. Check the description below for ways you can support the channel so we can continue creating content that explores these essential but often overlooked aspects of human experience. Until next time, remember that your attention is your most valuable resource. Invest it wisely.